Hello student. Today we are going to study about basic terms that we will use in the study of an operating system. Okay. Whatever terms we are going to use, you should know what is the meaning of this term. Okay. I hope that you have watched my previous video regarding what is an operating system and what are its types. Okay. Let's get started. So what is the basic concept of an operating system? Operating system is a program that acts as a interface between user of a computer and the computer hardware. From the diagram, you can see that user is not going to directly interact with the hardware. It is going to go via the operating system. Okay, and user obviously is going to use the software. Okay, to make use of the operating system. User also cannot directly interact with the operating system. It requires some kind of software. Your software is nothing but a piece of program. Okay, it is a code. The program is again divided into two types, that is the system software and the application software. System software are the programs which helps in the working of a system. Okay, your utilities, your compilers, it comes under the system software, and application software are the some software which does the user specific job, like your Chrome, like your Office suite. Okay, which does some specific job is the application software. So user is going to make use of application software, and application software is going to communicate with the operating system, and it is going to make all the work done for on the behalf of the user. Next is the basic working of a computer system. Basic working of a computer system consists of a CPU, memory, system bus, and IO modules. So what does this CPU mean? If I say the word CPU, what it means, it doesn't mean the cabinet which is going to have all the hardware and everything, motherboard and everything. Over here, CPU means your processor, which is going to perform the main functions, which is going to perform the data processing function. Your system can have one processor, your system can have multiple processors depending upon the complexity of your processor. Next is your memory. What is a memory? Memory is a storage location. Okay, it is going to store the data. The memory can again be divided into two types. It is a main memory or the secondary memory. Okay, whenever the CPU does any kind of computation, the data needs to be brought up in the main memory. You can say primary memory, you can say RAM. Okay, and then the computation happens. So on the click of a button, the data is brought from the secondary storage to the primary memory. Obviously, if you are going to increase the primary memory, the performance is going to increase, but it is going to increase the cost of the system. Next is the IO module. There are various peripheral devices connected to your system. You need to communicate with all kind of peripheral devices. Your peripheral devices can be from the different vendor. So how the things are going to get happen? It is done via the help of IO modules. There are various kinds of drivers also which is going to communicate. So IO module moves the data between the computer and its external environment. Next is your system bus. System bus is some kind of communication line. Okay, it's provide for the communication among the processor, main memory, and the IO modules. It is nothing but the set of electric wires. Okay, there are various components which is placed on the motherboard. Okay, how the communication is going to happen via this? You require the system bus so that the communication happen between the various components. Okay, so the basic working consists of CPU, memory, system bus, IO module. Okay, and from whatever the computation is going to get, okay, it has been done with the help or the collaboration of all this kind of system. Okay, CPU is nothing but the processor. Your data needs to be stored in the memory, either in the primary memory or in the secondary memory, but before computation the data needs to be brought in the main memory. Communication line, that is a system bus, and various peripheral devices are going to work with the help of IO modules. Next is your kernel. What is a kernel? Kernel is the core of a operating system, or it is a heart of a operating system. Okay, it is going to perform the four main tasks that we have studied in a previous lecture. What is the process management, memory management, disk management, and device management. Okay, we'll have a further dedicated lecture for all these kind of functions. But just remember that if I say the kernel of operating system, means it is a main part of the operating system. Okay, it is a main component of the operating system. If there is some kind of damage in loading of the kernel, your system is going to get fail. Example of the kernel is Xeon, Linux, Windows NT, and many more. Okay, and types of kernel are monolithic, microkernel, nanokernel, hybrid kernel, and exokernel. Okay, and at the last we are going to study is about the interrupt. What is the interrupt? Interrupt is a signal emitted by the hardware or software when a process or the event need the immediate attention. Okay, as we know that the IO operations are much more slower as compared to the CPU computation. Okay, so if some IO operation is being carried out, so in the meantime the processor is not going to sit idle, it will carry out with the other work. Okay, once the IO operation is done, the program will send the interrupt to the processor asking them what next to be done. Okay, so if there is some higher priority process, it will switch. So that is nothing but the interrupt. Okay, interrupt is a signal emitted by the hardware or the software. So that is the main need to increase the efficiency of the processor, is the main need for the interrupt. And if the interrupt occurs, there can be some kind of switching among the processes. Okay, understood? We'll have dedicated lectures for the interrupt also. So just remember, interrupt is a signal emitted by the hardware or software when a process need a immediate attention. And why? What is the need of the interrupt? To increase the efficiency of the processing or the increase the efficiency of the CPU, you require the interrupt. I hope you understand my lecture. Okay, put your valuable comments. Thank you for watching the lecture. And if you like my lecture, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.